Monica Samuels had walked this same route countless times since she and her husband moved to the peaceful neighborhood of Rancho Payosquitos, San Diego. It was meant to be just another normal Saturday afternoon, with the sun shining brightly and families enjoying the weekend. She carried her water bottle in one hand and scrolled through pictures of her nieces with the other. Everything was calm, until it wasn't. As she walked back from the small park near Twin Trails Drive, the familiar street felt different this time. Two men stepped directly into her path, blocking her way. Both were wearing dark polo shirts with HOA security embroidered on the chest. They didn't look like neighborhood helpers. They looked like men who were ready to cause trouble. The taller man, with closely cropped blonde hair, crossed his arms and stared at her, his posture demanding attention. The shorter man, stockier with a shaved head, held out his hand in a demand. "You live around here?" the blonde man asked, his voice sharp and commanding, not friendly at all. Monica frowned, taken aback by their aggressive stance. "Yes, I live on Carmel Mountain Road. Why?" she asked, keeping her voice steady.
"We're HOA security," the shorter man smirked. "You're required to show ID if you're walking through this neighborhood. Rules are rules." Monica blinked in disbelief. She'd been in many HOA neighborhoods before, and none of them had such strict, intrusive rules. "That's ridiculous. I don't have to show you anything, and besides, you're not police officers." Her calm tone didn't seem to faze them. The blonde man stepped closer, his eyes narrowing. "ID, now." Monica's pulse quickened as her gut told her something was off. "I'm not giving my ID to strangers on the street. If you're with the HOA, I'll speak to the president directly," she said, standing her ground. Before she could react, the shorter man backhanded her across the face. The crack of the slap echoed down the street, and Monica stumbled back, her cheek burning. Her phone and water bottle fell from her hands and clattered onto the pavement. "What the hell is wrong with you?" Monica yelled, holding her stinging cheek. The blonde man smirked, stepping closer. "You people think rules don't apply to you. We're here to make sure they do." Neighbors began to take notice. A woman pushing a stroller across the street gasped in shock. A jogger slowed down, unsure whether to intervene. Across the street, a teenager yelled, "Hey, leave her alone!" But he didn't move closer. Monica's heart raced. She wasn't going to cry. Not in front of these men, not in front of the crowd that had gathered. "I live here," she snapped, trying to steady her voice. "And you don't get to put your hands on me." The blonde man chuckled darkly, nudging his partner. "She's feisty. Maybe we should escort her back ourselves." Her chest tightened with panic. She was surrounded by onlookers, but no one was coming to her aid. Her hands shook as she tried to dial her husband's number, but her fingers fumbled on the screen. Just then, the jogger stepped forward, holding up his phone. "I'm calling the police right now. Back off." The blonde man's smirk faltered for the first time, but he didn't step away. His partner clenched his fists, daring anyone to intervene. Monica's cheek throbbed, but she forced herself to stay calm. Her husband's voice echoed in her mind. "Stay calm, keep breathing. Don't give them control." "I'm not afraid of you," she whispered to herself, more than to them. News of the assault spread quickly through the neighborhood. People began to gather on porches, talking in hushed voices. Patricia Long, a neighbor Monica had known for years, rushed over with her baby in a stroller. She crouched next to Monica, speaking softly. "Honey, are you okay? Do you want me to call your husband?" Monica nodded, her throat tight. "Yes, please." Patricia immediately dialed Monica's husband, Derek. Meanwhile, the two men pretending to be security guards began to grow more agitated. The blonde man paced like a caged animal, his partner cracking his knuckles menacingly. The blonde man, clearly uncomfortable with the increasing number of witnesses, shouted, "This lady's overreacting. We were just doing our job. She's pretending we attacked her. Don't believe everything you see." Patricia shot back, her voice hard and clear. "I watched you hit her. We all saw it. That's not security. That's assault." The blonde man's expression faltered and his bravado cracked. Monica's heart pounded in her chest, but she felt a sliver of hope as the jogger's voice rang out again. "I'm recording. The police are on their way. You better back off." The sound of sirens soon grew louder, growing closer. The two imposters finally seemed to realize they were cornered, but they weren't done yet. They looked like they were about to make one last move when suddenly Derek's truck screeched to a halt on the curb. The air seemed to freeze as Derek stepped out of the truck. His presence, calm but intimidating, immediately shifted the balance. The two imposters paused, their faces registering the recognition that this wasn't just any neighbor. Derek was a man used to facing danger head-on. Monica's heart fluttered when her eyes locked with Derek's. The tension in her chest eased just little. "Derek," she whispered, her voice a mixture of relief and fear. Derek walked toward her, his movements steady, purposeful. The men standing in front of them didn't seem to know how to react. The blond man tried to put on a confident front, but it was clear that Derek wasn't someone they could intimidate. "You must be the husband," the blond man said, his voice laced with mockery. "Look, your wife got lippy. We told her the rules, and she refused. That's on her." The shorter man joined in. "Control your woman."
The crowd fell silent, and Derek's calm demeanor became the center of attention. His voice was steady, but edged with something darker. "You put your hands on my wife," he said. "That's not a rule. That's assault." The crowd's murmurs grew louder. Neighbors, who had been standing back, now stepped forward, drawn by the strength of Derek's words. But the imposters were still defiant. The shorter man puffed out his chest and took a step forward. "What are you going to do about it?" Derek didn't flinch. "You'll find out soon enough." Just then, the blond man charged at Derek. In one fluid motion, he caught his arm and twisted it, slamming him to the ground with ease. The crowd gasped as the blond man groaned, struggling to breathe. The shorter man tried to push his way in, but Derek's swift moves had him on the ground too, his arm locked in a hold that forced him to submit. By the time the police arrived, the two imposters were sprawled on the ground, out of breath and defeated. Derek stood tall, calm and in control. The officers quickly moved in, assessing the scene. Monica watched, her heart still racing, as Derek turned to her with a reassuring glance. "You're safe," he said softly. "They won't hurt you again." The story of Monica's assault spread through the neighborhood, and soon the truth was revealed. The two men had been posing as security guards, targeting residents under the false pretense of enforcing non-existent rules. They had no credentials, no authority, and their intentions were much darker than anyone had realized. Monica's bravery had forced the truth to come to light, but the road to justice was just beginning. Derek stood by her side, his presence both a shield and a reminder that courage is about standing firm when everything else falls apart. They may have attacked her, but they hadn't broken her. The fight for justice was only beginning, and together they would stand tall no matter the cost.
Did that story grab your attention? Hit that like button right now to show your support for more hard-hitting justice thrillers like this one. At True Crime Files TV, we deliver powerful voice-only narratives that keep you engaged. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just relaxing, our signature storytelling style brings you into intense moments of injustice and the satisfying path to accountability. Subscribe to never miss our weekly uploads featuring gripping justice thrillers, stories of ordinary people facing extraordinary challenges, and powerful narratives with unexpected twists. With premium voice-only content, it's perfect for multitasking. Turn on notifications so you'll know immediately when we drop our next story. Your support helps us create more content that matters. True Crime Files TV, where justice speaks volumes.